We are going to do a quick recap and the best way possible to memorize these derivatives of trig functions sin x, cos x, tan x. Okay, let's start with derivative of sin x. Now derivative of sin x, as we know, is cosine x, and derivative of cosine x is sin x, but it's negative. And derivative of tan x is what? It's secant square x. And there is derivative of tan. When there's a tan, there's cot x, right? Cot x is negative of cosecant square x. And now, just looking at these square ones, if you see the derivative of secant x is simply secant x times tan x. And derivative of cosecant x is negative of 1 cosecant x times cot x. Isn't this is the best way to memorize, right? And if you notice the other thing, the most common mistake is we're forgetting the negative sign. And if you pay attention, whenever there's a pronunciation co, there's a negative sign associated to its derivative. Cot, it's negative. Cosecant, it's negative. So there's total 6 functions, right? And then 3 of them are positive and the other 3 are negative. And the negatives are only with the co pronunciation. Cos, cot, and cosecant. And when it comes to memorize these square ones, as tan x is secant square x and cot, derivative of cot x is cosecant square x, and derivative of these secant function is simply, if you just remember these 4 formulas, these are these needs to be not memorized, right? If you just memorize these 4 formulas only, because once you have these ones correct, derivative of cosecant is simply taking 1 secant from here multiply by tan x, taking 1 cosecant but with negative sign associated to, as this is cosecant, times 1 this cot x. I really hope you guys are understanding what I'm trying to say. Let's just solve one of the problem here. Suppose we have this function f of x, which is equal to secant theta tan theta. Now if you pay attention here, these seems to be what? Product, because it's a multiplication of 2 functions are in multiplication form, right? Secant is one function, tan is another, so we can use the product rule here, a times b, which is simply what? A times derivative of b plus b times derivative of a, right? How do we find the derivative of this function then? Derivative of fx is a times secant theta derivative of tan theta plus tan theta and derivative of secant theta. So this is going to be secant theta times derivative of tan theta is secant square theta plus tan theta times derivative of secant theta is simply secant theta times tan theta. And it looks like secant theta is common in both of these functions, and we can simplify further. So this is going to be secant theta common. So inside parentheses we have left is secant square theta plus tan theta times tan theta is tan square theta. And this is the derivative of this function. I really hope this helps. Thank you for watching.